Let's talk about some quick interview tips you need to know in order to ace your next job interview. I've even created a free video interview checklist you can download to help you prepare. Hi, my name is Claudia Miller, and I'm a sought-after career coach, and this channel is all about helping you get the job you want while getting anywhere up to $100,000 in salary increases. Let's get started. Many job seekers say interview is the hardest part about job searching. Today, I want to share some quick tips you can use during your next video interview to help you show up with confidence and avoid any potential embarrassing scenarios or pet peeves that are annoying the interviewer. Here's tip number 1. Have your screen on landscape mode and position yourself at eye level as if you were meeting in person. You want to mock as if you were sitting across from the person. Now, you don't want to be in a camera looking like this, and then you also don't want to be above it, or like I said, in portrait mode, because then it cuts you off and it makes it seem like it's smaller. So, like I said, this will be like the perfect angle, as if you're seeing my screen right now, how you should be positioning yourself, whether it's your phone, your iPad, or laptop. This is exactly how it should look like. All right, tip number 2. Make sure any light source is in front of you. You want to come across as polished and professional, and that means not having a dark or dingy light source. And the ring lights are not just for influencers or video creators. They're also great for interviews and anytime you're really being on video. So any video conferences. I've included some recommendations in my free video interview checklist you can download today if you need some inspiration or you just want a quick link to help you purchase it. Now, it really does make a difference. Like I said, the light source should be in front of you, not in back of you. So if you have like a window in the back, this will probably not be a good scenario. Instead, my window is actually in front of me, so that's a really good light source. And right now I have a ring light in front of me as well. Again, I wouldn't have a light source here or here because it does make it look darker. Tip number 3, silence your phone and close any tabs that have any sound notifications. That means close your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, and honestly, any tab that makes noise. You don't want to be in an interview and all of a sudden have someone messaging you incessantly. You know what I'm talking about, those work chats. We want to make sure those are off or muted. And also, it would distract you and the interviewer if that were to happen. You can also put your phone on Do Not Disturb while you're interviewing. Again, you don't want to have anything that will catch you off guard or distract you or take you away from the train of thought that you're currently in. So minimize all sounds. It honestly makes a huge difference and it's important and it'll really help you keep your confidence. Tip number 4. Do you tend to ramble a lot during interviews? Or are you on the other side where you say very little and you don't even know what to say? What I recommend is to place the Post-it. So just like a Post-it like this. Place a Post-it in your video camera with the acronym STAR or PAR. So I was having my camera, then I would place it right here next to the camera itself so I can easily see it and remind me. And the acronyms STAR and PAR are just quick methodologies or frameworks to follow during an interview. So STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. That's kind of like the framework you want to follow when answering a question. Or PAR, which just stands for problem, action, result. Whatever is easiest for you, this is a good kind of hack to do of putting the Post-it by your video camera so you're looking across it when you're responding. And it's a constant reminder to say, oh, what was the problem with that scenario? What action did you take? And what were the results of it? So you stick to the point. It avoids you from rambling, but also prevents you from saying too little where you might say, well, yeah, I did have a tough project that I worked on and then it was successful. Okay, well, what was the action? Like, what was the problem? That framework will help you alone in itself. All right, tip number 5, have a practice session before, both for you and for whoever you're living with. Why? You want to recite what you're going to say and how to say it. It really does make a difference. And also, you want to test how well your roommates are respecting your boundaries. So you may be living with a spouse, a roommate, family members. There have been so many times I've had mock interviews with clients and I tell them, let's pretend we're having a real interview. Tell your family not to disturb you and to respect at least this 1 hour we're going to be working together. Well, There have been many times where you see the family member almost crawling and hunching in the background, thinking that we can't see them, and I can clearly see them. Now, thankfully, we had a mock session where it only happened in front of me. It didn't happen during an actual interview. So you want to make sure that, one, you communicate with them and how long it'll take. Maybe you need to put a post outside your door. Maybe you need to have them leave the house, or maybe you just need to find a quieter place where you can have the interview. But it really helps you understand if they can respect your boundaries and, again, avoid such an embarrassing scenario, especially during an interview. So highly recommend you have that mock session, practice, and see if they can stay away from video for that 1 hour. All right, tip number 6, have all supporting documentation pulled up on another screen. So if you're using a phone or a laptop or an iPad, you can have the camera here, but in this screen, you can have all documentation pulled up just to be able to reference it in case they ask you anything. For example, oh yeah, can you walk me through your resume and like the first bullet point? You're like, what are you talking about? What bullet point? Which job? And then you don't want to like, can you tell me? Instead, you can easily say, oh, are you referencing for this job? Yes, here's what I meant, and here's what that project looked like. Again, helps you look prepared, helps you stay confident, and again, it avoids that anxiety building that you may have from saying, I don't even know what I wrote. Not all of us, we don't recite and memorize our resume, especially by bullet point. And there have been times where even I have been asked, or my clients have been asked, like, can you tell me a little bit more about this? I see your project that you said you increased so-and-so. And they're like, well, I put that all over the resume for different case scenarios. Can you please elaborate? And they can say, oh yeah, for this job. And you're like, well, I still don't know. Well, if you have your resume pulled up, it's easy to kind of reference it and continue the conversation. Here's an example of all the documentation I recommend for you to have pulled up and have easily accessible. Your resume, cover letter, interviewer's LinkedIn, any interview prep document, a job search tracker, and notes of list of questions you'll be asking. Again, in the previous video, I actually shared my 3 lethal questions you need to ask during any job interview. But again, you might have other questions that you want to ask, and again, you may forget, you may get distracted. So it's important to always have that, and it's okay to say, you know what, I actually have a few notes. Let me pull it up really quickly. I prepared some questions in advance based on the job description and some of the conversations I've had with some of the employees at the company. My first question is, and it's okay to reference it. And actually, like I said, it actually looks like and it shows that you're prepared. If you enjoyed this, you can access now a full checklist of my top 13 video interview tips you need to do before an interview. Go to the link in the description page to access them all for free. In the next video, I'll share with you how you can find a true salary range for a job, and no, it's not doing an internet search. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel.